Hey guys, welcome to Gadgets 360, and today we'll be checking out Realme's brand new X7 Pro. Now this is one of the first phones from Realme to feature MediaTek's new Dimensity SoCs, and the X7 Pro in particular is pretty feature packed. It has a high refresh rate display, you get super fast charging, and of course a powerful SoC, and let's not forget plenty of cameras. But I think the big question is, does it offer good value in its price segment? Stay with me till the end of the review to find out. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that bell icon so you're the first to know whenever we have a new video. First, let's do a quick unboxing of the device to see what you get in the retail box. The Realme X7 Pro is missing expandable storage and a headphone socket, but it does provide a Type-C to 3.5mm adapter in the box. The rest of the content includes a 65-watt power adapter, a USB Type-C cable, a case, and a SIM eject tool. Realme has launched the X7 Pro in India in a single variant with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. The design of the X7 Pro actually looks very similar to the Realme 7 Pro, especially the rear camera module. One-handed use is quite comfortable thanks to the slim design and relatively light weight of just 184 grams. The glass back and the pre-applied screen protector do pick up fingerprints easily, but these are also easy to wipe off. Now the fantasy color variant that I have has an iridescent glass rear panel and it does look quite funky. However, I really wish that Realme hadn't embossed its slogan on the back, and this could have been kept on the bundled case instead. Luckily, the black version doesn't have this writing. The display is one of the highlights of the X7 Pro and Realme hasn't held back. It's a 6.55-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate, Gorilla Glass 5 and support for HDR video playback. The display looks great, touch response is accurate, and content is very legible even under bright lights. The 120Hz display also makes usage feel very fluid, and the phone will automatically switch between it and 60Hz based on the app being used. The X7 Pro has stereo speakers along with Dolby Atmos, which together produce rich and fairly detailed audio. The phone has an in-display fingerprint sensor and a light touch is all that's needed for a successful unlock. Face recognition is equally quick and works very well even in poor lighting. Now another feature worth talking about is of course the new MediaTek Dimensity 1000 Plus SoC that's powering the Realme X7 Pro. Now in the short time I've been testing this phone, I haven't really noticed any unwanted heating or any slowdowns or any lag of any kind. It is a pretty powerful chip both on the CPU and the GPU front, and performance has been pretty solid so far. Gaming and media performance also was excellent on the Realme X7 Pro. Games such as Oceanhorn and even Call of Duty ran effortlessly without causing any sort of heating issue. Realme says it's used a vapor chamber cooling system which seems to be doing its job quite effectively. The Realme X7 Pro is still running on Realme UI 1.0, which is based on Android 10. Now, Realme UI is quite polished at this point and it's easy to get used to, although it's still flooded with a lot of bloatware apps, most of which can be removed. Now, I noticed that the browser app in particular is notorious for sending spammy notifications even if you've never even opened the app. Even with heavy use, the 4500 mAh battery easily managed to get me through one full day. The 65-watt Super Dart fast charging can charge the phone up to 91% in half an hour, which is very quick. The Realme X7 Pro lasted for about 16 hours and 42 minutes in our HD video loop test, which again is a good sign. The Realme X7 Pro has a 32-megapixel selfie camera, and at the back there are 4 sensors which include a 64-megapixel main camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, a 2-megapixel monochrome, and a 2-megapixel macro camera. The Realme X7 Pro captures good details and exposure in landscape shots. HDR is also handled well and there's no real shutter lag when shooting during the day. The 16 megapixel pixel binned photos that the phone captures by default offer very good details for close-up shots too, although you can shoot at the full 64 megapixel resolution if you want to. Now, the ultra-wide-angle camera has its uses, but keep in mind that details are a bit weaker here. The macro camera produces predictably passable results if there's ample light. Now, while the rear cameras are fairly reliable during the day, they tend to really struggle in low light. Regular low light shots don't pack in a lot of detail, but nightscape helps in getting a better exposure. However, with nightscape, we also get a lot of unwanted noise, which makes very dark regions look patchy. Now, this side effect is even more pronounced when using nightscape on the ultra-wide-angle camera. I also noticed that in very dim lighting, the camera tends to struggle with focus on close-up subjects. However, if you give it enough artificial light, you can get some very usable shots. Video quality is decent at 4K resolution with good stabilization, and the autofocus adjusted quickly when I changed my frame. Now, the results were a bit grainy when shooting at night. And while the ultra night video mode helps boost the ISO, I did lose out on texture quality in the process. The selfie camera manages decent images under good light. However, despite turning off the beauty filter, skin tones still ended up looking smoothened. The Realme X7 Pro captures usable selfies indoors, but if you're shooting outdoors at night, you'll need the screen flash. Overall, the cameras on the Realme X7 Pro do a decent job if you're shooting during the day, but they do tend to struggle to deliver satisfactory results in low light. The Realme X7 Pro checks many of the boxes for a solid mid-range flagship killer smartphone. It offers a vivid display, smooth performance, great battery life, very fast charging, and a decent set of cameras for daylight shooting. The addition of stereo speakers and support for 5G also makes it a potential alternative to the OnePlus Nord, even though the storage is limited to just 128 GB. However, I think Realme could have done a lot more to make the X7 Pro a more memorable smartphone and really set it apart from its number series. Now, take the design for example. This resembles the Realme 7 Pro quite a bit, and even in terms of the features that you get on the X7 Pro, you can see very similar features, if not the same, on Realme's other more affordable models. We then come to the cameras, which aren't really impressive in low light, especially for its segment. And then you also have the case of software, where this is still running on Android 10, when most other new smartphones that have launched this year have shipped with Android 11 out of the box. Overall, the Realme X7 Pro does offer good value. However, when compared to phones such as the OnePlus Nord or even the Oppo Reno 5 Pro 5G, it just doesn't feel as exciting as it should have been. So thanks for watching my review. Let me know what you think about this phone in the comments below, and do you think it's worth the asking price? And as always, for all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.